Hello everybody, it's Nicolas Dorier. So for today what I'm going to show you is how to set up your own instance of NB Explorer. There's basically two ways of doing it. One of the way is good if you know what you're doing. So it's using Docker. Basically, I created a Docker file that you can find in BTCPayServer, and yeah, I document everything to use it. But basically, by running this Docker compose, you can have an instance running of BTCPay. So I will not talk about that today. I will more talk about how to set it up on your own computer so that you better understand how it works under the hood. So basically, I think I documented it somewhere here. Yes. So basically, BTCPayServer has very simple architecture. On one side, you have your Bitcoin full node. On the other side, you have NB Explorer. NB Explorer is kind of a REST service that is listening all the transaction and block that is coming from your node, and that know how to track HG wallets. So basically, BTCPayServer is relying on NB Explorer, which rely on Bitcoin Core. So basically, BTCPayServer say, oh, give me a new address for this export key, and the NB Explorer send back this address and track it on the blockchain. On top of that, you have Postgre, SQLite, or SQLite database. SQLite, I only advise you for development purposes. Actually, it's a very bad idea to run it into production. The .NET Core driver to it are not really ready, but Postgre is very nice. So yeah, in this demo I will use SQLite. If you want to do in prod, you have to install also PostgreSQL. If you are using Docker, for example, then Docker you don't have any problem because like it's hosted inside a container as well. Every part is hosted inside container. Well, so let's start by, so I have already my own full node here that is running. Okay, so I assume that you already did that. You have already your own node. Then, so this take care of this part. Then the second part is having NB Explorer running. So NB Explorer is not very hard to run. So same thing, there is Docker image if you don't want to install it on your own machine. So basically you just have to git clone the project. So I will send you this link here. So I will do that now in my folder here. Okay. Then once you have cloned it, you just go into the folder of the project, and then you can start to run it. So I will just run it this one because to show you a bit the command line that are available. Oh, by the way, yeah, you need .NET Core. So .NET here. So you have to go on the Microsoft website. Here. So you can install .NET Core SDK on your machine depending on which environment you're using. So check that for, I assume you already installed it. Okay, so this compiled NB Explorer, and as you can see, NB Explorer has lots of different parameters possible. So basically, your NB Explorer need to connect to your node and to the peer-to-peer node, okay, to your main node here, and also to RPC because I'm using NB Explorer. So when BTCPayServer want to broadcast a transaction, it has to NB Explorer, which send it to the node through RPC. So that's why you also need RPC connection. But one thing to note is that if you're installing Bitcoin Core on default folder, everything will just work fine without any configuration. So on my side, really the only thing that is specific to my installation is that I have the authentication cookie file that is in another folder. So maybe you will not have to do that, but on my side I need to precise it. So rpc cookie file equal, okay, perfect. So I run it. So I don't need to precise or other parameters because I'm using basically the defaults of Bitcoin. So I can connect to RPC. So it's loading the chain from cache. It takes some time to start up, and then okay, that's done. So basically now I'm good to go as far as NB Explorer is concerned. Everything is working fine. So second step, yeah, one also notice is that so like Bitcoin, those who are familiar with Bitcoin Core, you can precise the parameters from command line or also for config file. So you can also put your parameters here. So just to show you how it looks like. Don't save. So yeah, if you have your own config, so I already did that in the past, but yeah, you can put your own stuff here. So the priority is the command line arguments, then the configuration file basically. And the third priority is environment variable. So you can use environment variable also to configure your NB Explorer. Okay, so now I will just clone BTCPayServer. This one. Same thing. So git clone this. So I documented normally quite a lot here for in documentation here. So in the documentation, I basically more explain how to set up your local environments during development. I'm using Docker during development, but basically it's not very different from NB Explorer. Okay, so did it? Oh, so BTPayServer. Sorry, it was the wrong one. Fat finger syndrome. Okay. Okay, so now I have my BTCPay Explorer. So same thing, you know, you go to, same thing as with NB Explorer, you go to the folder of the project and then run .NET, run, same thing, help for example. So same thing, it would compile your project. You as NB Explorer, you have various configuration, as you will see soon. Okay, so as you can see, there is several stuff that you can configure as well. So one of the most important is the connection to your Explorer. Okay. So same thing, since the Explorer is running default configuration, you don't have to tell that. It will just know automatically where to look for. Yeah, you can configure the port where you want to listen your service here because the default port is like not port 80. So I just show you without configuring anything. So .NET run should work. So basically I'm using default configuration everywhere, so it should work fine. Okay, so basically it says that it could connect to the Explorer and it's using SQLite database. So it tells you exactly why here. So you can delete this database if you want to start again. And of course here it's a URL of the service. So if you want to configure that on another port, you you just have to configure dash port. So one thing to know is that the first account that you are creating here is like kind of admin accounts. So the first account, since it's basic, an admin account has this secret menu here, server settings, which you can go. And there is several things that will happen here that I will add in the future here. But basically, you can see the list of users. You can configure the mail server, and you can configure some policies. So right now, you can require a mail to be set for registering. I will add the other option in the future. So that's about it. Everything is configured. You can start using it. You can create your own store, whatever, your own invoice. Basically, let's do that. But the problem is that I don't have HDPub key at hand. But yeah, you can create invoices and everything, and it will just work. So thanks for listening. It's all I wanted to show you today. Goodbye.